So we have two teams, Team GCC, Arindam and Praveen, and we'll ask you to introduce yourself before we get going. And then we have Team Third Party, Harpreet and Kiran, and we'll ask you to introduce yourself. The goal is to basically win the game, okay? That's basically the goal. We'll have 4 rounds, battle of the basics, which is which enterprises love more. Do they love more the service providers or do they love the GCCs more? The challenges and the curveballs. What are the challenges on both models? The rise of the machines. Who's more prepared for the AI revolution, and who's basically the champion. The format is for every question that Phil and I will throw up, you guys will have to help us out by voting on the app, because your vote is what counts. And these guys won't see your votes. So they have to answer without knowing what you voted. And whoever is closer to the audience basically gets a point. Okay? All clear?
Yeah.
We understand it?
Yep.
Yep. This is just one yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. The audience rule is very important. The winner will get the most points, maybe bragging rights. I don't think we have a trophy. Sorry. And very, very important, this is not a democracy. So Phil and I can choose whoever we want to choose. At the end of the day, the screen is doing some disco lighting, so I don't know how to fix that. But it's already in the drinks mode. I can see the light. So while we get there, maybe quick introductions. Praveen, we'll start with you.
Yeah. Thanks, Saurabh. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Praveen Sasidharan. I'm part of the Allianz services unit, which is the shared service or the global GCC for Allianz Group. We are the largest insurer in the world, and we do the insurance GCCs out of our capability centers in India, Mauritius, Morocco, Lisbon, and Bucharest. I am responsible for all of the insurance delivery, so I'm the Chief Insurance Officer for Allianz Services. Good afternoon, and good afternoon again. Arindam from Citi. So I ran Citi's GBS, for about 18 years in the firm. Ran GBS for a number of functions globally, and for the functions within that, finance, risk, some parts of HR, uniquely information security, which normally doesn't sit there. And also ran the entire network of 35 centers for some period of time, and then finance, data, and systems. Pretty much manage people in all locations. Obviously, India, Philippines, Kuala Lumpur, Poland, Hungary, Colombia, Costa Rica, Zurich, Ireland, blah, blah. I was just, when I was reading it, it says round 1, battle of the bit. I said, no, battle of the basics, okay. At least you're being nice.
Look, we worry about AI hallucinations, but I do hallucinate as well sometimes, so it's fine. Kiran?
Good afternoon, everyone. I represent a company called HCLTech. I run the GCC business. Unlike on this forum, I always actually strive how to work with those guys. Right, and that's my mandate. But here for the next half an hour, probably I think we may be talking something different. Thank you. What about?
Thanks, good. I Harpreet, represent Genpact, part of the leadership team for about 25 years. For the last 18 months, I've been helping build out our GCC practice as a senior advisor, and really looking to the discussion. At the end of the day, they pay my bills, so it would be nice stuff.
Right, not good. Right, then let's talk.
Okay, so round 1, why they love you or don't love you. So this round sets the stage by digging into why companies choose one over the other. So here we go. Why do companies choose third-party providers over GCCs? A, they're cheaper than in-laws during a wedding.
Yeah.
You get instant scalability. It's like adding 20 cousins to a cricket team. C, specialized expertise, because GCCs can't be good at everything, right? D, faster delivery. You can't argue with a pizza that's always on time. E, they're the swipe right option for quick, no commitment solutions. It's a little cheesy, right? And F, the question is wrong. Nobody chooses third parties over GCCs. So let's go.
Yeah, so you guys have 15 seconds Please start voting. I think the first question is a test of if the system works or not. And the AV team don't show the answers. Otherwise, this game is screwed up. So anybody has the answer?
No, 7 people and what?
No, one. Choose one. Both parties.
We go for C.
And my out.
It's like you said, I think the question has the answer in there. There is a little bit of B in there, but the ability to get a partner who can execute as the skills in sales, do it globally, while you're building the other strategic capability, whether it was data, AI, and others that you were talking about, makes it a great partnership processing. And it's a proven model. It's this is not the 2000s where the message was you're mess for less. It's really a proven model where value is being created.
So you go with
Just one more dimension to add is depending upon the size, shape, maturity of the JCC, their needs completely differ. So I think that's where we will be able to send best. Yeah.
So C, maybe option 2B.
Okay, so we've been thinking, like, should we pick the funniest option, in-laws, cousins, or do we go for a serious option? And then I think they went for a serious option. So we think E is probably why companies choose. The seafood be a reason. I'm sure some people will choose. But it's also kind of a quick, no commitment until you believe that you got to make a commitment, right? It's a bit of a dating before you want to go fly. So that's what we were thinking. But true. I think what we also thought was that in a GCC, it is about a lot of realism. But what we get from a third-party provider is that the world is in front of you. So they commits that they can fly the horse. So we also want to say that, okay, then we would commit, you fly the horse, let us see. So we would like to jump into that kind of a solution to test the waters and see how it works. So this could be one of the risks.
All right, let's see what the audience said.
That is taxi.
All right. C is the answer. B is the answer.
Seriously, like,
That is the answer. Where's the answer? They validated. So if you would have this one, so then it's also so till I think this one we give her this scheme that is but be that.
Yeah,
Couple.
this was a trial run, but we won by such an overwhelming margin. I think we take a point.
Yeah, somebody with better maths than me has to keep this score. Otherwise, I'll forget. But anyway, so 1 pointer. Okay, let's go to the next question.
so we'll let you answer this time first, okay? We'll say
All right, then. So now it's the other way around. Why do companies choose GCCs over service providers? Okay, GCCs know the family secrets. The long-term value. It's like a slow cooker, not McDonald's. GCCs align better with enterprise goals. It's a arranged marriage. You're all control freaks in the business world. You can control the GCC more. Who wouldn't want a homegrown team of superheroes? And then F, the question is wrong. Nobody chooses GCCs over this. I think you guys should go first this time.
So we go with B. We think GCCs provide long-term value, and it could be low at times, but it is not fast foods. The benefit one generally see is that the organizational culture is embedded. It is an extended brain of the same company. So it is about how do you create the same culture within the organization, aligned to the values of the company, and how can this be IP for the company in the long run. So which means you never lose this as part of your brain power. So this, I think is very critical, and it's the long-term value that every organization get with the GCC.
So this thing is getting serious.
I'll just add one other thing to that sort of. So basically, B also has some element of A and C baked into it in our view, because long-term value is your IP, long-term value is your enterprise goal. And yeah, so we'll not go with anything funny like control freaks.
It's a very serious group of people, yeah, guys.
I'll add an extra perspective. I went visiting Hyderabad. So cool seeing all the big brands from the Global 2000 in their little buildings. It's just cool trend. It's cool. It's like I want to have my own real estate, my own team in India, and India has a trained brand now for execution and then delivery. So and innovation. So that's my personal opinion.
So Harpreet and Kiran, what do you?
Yeah, but I think this time we would like to be a little bit courage play, right? So I think we've chosen D.
D, control fees.
Yeah. Don't be
Perfect.
no, yeah, we're gonna give you a chance. Otherwise,
Thank you, sir. We might still, otherwise it would have been a.
All right. Let's see what the audience said. Are you guys polling? Please help us. That's seen.
let's see what is that.
See, GCC is aligned better with enterprise goals. Long-term value is a sort of close second. Phil, what do you think? Do we give them a point or do we be strict?
Who's the other one? Just gone out again. It was
Oh, no. Long-term value is now coming up.
yeah, no, long-term value is the second, 27%. Aligned better with enterprise goals, just like your age managed to. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 5%. I don't think so.
Excellent. It's one.
Oh, yes, it's got a figures where so. Guys, come on, more guys, please go with the beat.
You get half a point. There you go.
Okay. So we'll chat board. So somebody. It's 1 and 0.5.
Okay.
All right. Let's move to the next one. Phil, do you want to do this?
Yeah. So
Yeah, that was great.
chaos challenges, curveballs, and GCCs and third-party providers keep up. So this round explores obstacles, rivalries, and future-proofing strategies with a sharp edge. So biggest challenges facing GCCs, or the biggest challenge, talent retention. Gen Z wants beanbags, not bosses. Rising costs. It's like inflation, but for office X. C, providing their worth is harder than explaining AI to your grandparent. D, keeping up with the new tech. It's a TikTok world and GCCs are still on a Facebook. Ouch. E, competing with third-party providers because frenemies are real.
See,
The biggest challenge facing GCCs.
Right. Keep voting.
who's for me? A buddy to it has to call actually we was about was said a good enough with it.
And nobody can question my options up. So that otherwise I'm gonna. That's a question.
Columns, I think you know, I read the that thing about it.
There's a service provider. Am I ready?
And I can do
Anybody ready? Otherwise ready?
okay. Go for it.
We'll go with C, because we believe that proving the word pitching flu, there'll be a little bit of D. How do you deal with the new wave of technology? How we deal with the talent, the different generation, than what we had been doing for the last 20 years or so. That packaging it all together and proving that the GCCs still deliver value to their parent companies, enterprise, etc., is the hard effort. So I think that's the biggest challenge that we face. No, true. Usually the neighbor's son is smarter.
Yeah.
So which is the biggest challenge we face. So it is always convincing to say as to how well we are equipped to tell the future. So it is a challenge.
Proving the word of Harpreet and Kiran. What do you think?
So can we have the same answer?
Yeah, you can answer. Then if it's a C, either give both of you a point or we're not.
And I'm really glad is there's somebody accepting the fact that they have to prove their worth, but that's good.
Yes, sir. Sense.
Yeah, so we were debating between C and A.
Yeah.
I wait to tell, but I do believe C is a bigger challenge than A. Yeah. Early another team, I'll return the back.
So A is definitely a challenge, but I think that's something that which we are figuring out ways and means how to actually circumvent that. But I think C is the area where the real worth is actually.
Okay. Audience.
Well, let's see it.
Let's see.
Audience.
Audience is very skilled. Both. So Phil, do we give both of them a point or 0? It doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter. Okay, this was a worthless Robert. That could that. All right, let's move on. Basically, what's the biggest challenge that service providers face? If I can actually move the next page. I'm struggling on.
Yeah. Okay.
But there it is. What's the biggest challenge that third-party providers face in sourcing? Keeping prices low because clients want Gucci service at the street market prices. Adopting AI, it's the new black, but not everyone looks good at it. standing out. It is differentiating. Basically, can you actually differentiate? Everybody is the same, or the whole geopolitical drama. It's just like too much. It's very thing, right?
Which primarily, I think the challenges are uniform across the service providers, right? So I think, but from among the fraud, then how do you stand out, and what's your differentiation? What is your USP, right? And then what are solutions that which you bring to the table? And then how fast you could do this, and all of that actually covers different action for the other sets.
Bit about convincing your CFO to spend some money.
I should have added down over there. Not some. Sorry, not missed that one.
Yeah, and you should put that in. Yeah, I'm not ready to spend money.
Yeah,
I think D captures it. It's I mean, if you guys, I think we are all privy to it. If you look at what any one of us, Kiran says, I say, or somebody else, Enfesia says, very tough to make out all the difference between what the difference, what the capability is, especially in the new world, especially when data and AI is demanding it versus just core ops. I think that's our biggest challenge, that how do we differentiate it, and how many use cases can we really show because of work getting distributed between the GCC and us.
And yeah,
We'll agree again. And I think we have been debating, to be honest, whether it's B or D, right? The keeping price low, which has been a perennial challenge that the service providers face. It's true, clients want Gucci at Canal Street prices. And but I think what you thought that, okay, standing out, because everybody is saying, I'm adopting AI, I'm on the AI arms race, we'll keep our price low, price cutting, et cetera, we'll have in a higher, faster, better. How do you make yourself different? Right? How does an HCL and Genpact and others say we are different? That could be felt. But I think B is equally competitive as well. Sure.
Interesting. He comes out.
Yeah, I know. If you want, then dealing. White, between us. No, but what I think B equally is very, very tough, because even for any company you choose, you have 10 providers telling that they are the best in the world. So to choose which is the actual best among the STEM, the challenge. So that's a fair value price.
So which one do you choose? B or let's see. B, I mean, choose D. D. Okay, let's see what the audience chose.
B to the
or B. It's way too close. That's it. B. Oh, just missed. The just missed.
We need.
So Phil, this whole round was basically a useless round.
I got bored. No, a good round. Invited us around, but it tells us we have to go with price.
You both agreed. You got a half point each, right?
Yeah. So we are at 1.5 and 1.
There we go.
All right. Now, some users actually or the opportunity. Why are you thinking that you are why are we thinking various other things? But I think the GCC leaders in the room definitely are expecting the right price, right? While we spoke throughout the day in something else, right? So AI adoption, rest of the challenges. But looks like price is still not you can't actually cost that much.
I think our audience is a little GCC biased because there's more GCC leaders here. So, but the audience is the king. Okay, so
arbitrage is still king.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Phil, your chance.
And now we get to my favorite round, the rise of the machines. Ready? Who's ready for the robot take over? AI stakes. Dive into how AI is reshaping the global services landscape and who's adapting better. So this round dives into how AI is reshaping the industry. All right, and fairly we need to be playful about this. No discomforting. No one talk about Anthropic scaring the crap out of us. Right, so will AI be the boon of integrate the services? It's going to be a boon. It's like a magic wand, but for businesses. B, it's a big bang. Hello, job apocalypse. C, it really could be either. It depends on how much coffee your AI drinks. Is it in? Do you have any more?
I could only think of 3, Phil. Is there any? Is there any other option?
That's the thing. I think very tough.
What do you think, Phil? By the way, on this one,
I think it's a bigger boon for services than it is software. I think software is getting eaten alive. And believe it or not, I've been hearing like this, the people from the software world actually are trying to think more like services folks. Because at least for services, you can be more flexible with innovation and pricing and outcomes. Whereas software, it's all butts on seats per seat. They're really struggling with the consumption model. So I think it's great for services longer term, and it's great for smaller emerging mid-tier services because you can do things that the big guys can't in many aspects. So, yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. We'll go with A. Yeah, and our view is very simple. I mean, we do believe that the whole magic of what we've been talking today is the whole element of AI, transformation. The power lies at the last mile. The failures at the last mile, if you don't know what's in the process, if you don't understand the data that goes through the process, if you don't understand how that can be used. The first session that you were having, Phil, where the FIS gentleman talked about context. That context, I think, is where the service provider is having. They've been doing it now for 30 years. And, they actually bring huge domain and experience to implement and get that going. It might take time. I think there's going to be experimentation. And maybe there's a little this thing, but I don't believe that that's what's going to stay. I actually believe that it's going to accelerate the adoption of a piece.
It's a conversation starter. It gets you back in front of your clients. They're in trouble. They need help. And this is some great technology that's going to get them to a different place. Ultimately, services thrives on change and disruption and comes out of the other side. If you're good and know what you're doing, you're amazing. And you look at the performance of service providers last 2 years, it's not been terrible. It was really bad after the pandemic because there was no AI. But yeah.
Well, that would be strategy that happened there. But I strongly believe, and that's the reason that we are doubling down as a company, that HCL's company emphasis is, I mean, it's based on the premise and the discussion that we have that there's a lot of value sitting there that can be can be brought to life, bringing the two together. So it's not one over the other, but that's how we stand.
Obviously, if you can't get excited about technology, thinking like a human, get out and do something else.
That is everything.
Anyway, one more point to add here. I think service providers in every disruption over the last 2 decades, we have figured out a way how to weather that, number one. Number two, we have always been the cross-pollinators, right? And then whether it is a best practices adoption, right, deeper domain, whatever usable components. And in point of time, why GCCs is trying to build their own competencies, but the scale at which they could invest for themselves is always much lower compared to a service provider who would throw it at a deeper and then I think that's the problem. So here also, I think we were also unanimous here because our answer was again yes. And here, the main reason was what we thought is from an individual perspective. It's a huge boon at this point in time, not only from a personal perspective, but even from an individual professional perspective. Where it comes is from an enterprise perspective. So enterprise perspective, it is yet to become a magic wand. We have still not reached there. I think that is the journey possibly that we need to take as we move forward. Because currently all our enterprises are, I think in one of the discussions we had, for the manual era or the human era is what we have created. But we need to reimagine before this becomes a magic wand. Yeah.
So we have a bunch of optimists on the stage. Let's see what the
and I was saying it'll be to therapy. But all thing I was going there, the whole thing is a B for the current model of the global south. It's absolutely been and it should be.
So what your answer is it? The answer is it. What do we think? Something in books, same mother. Yes, but makes it. And we see a death.
It's unbelievable. Thank you. What's just read in there?
Yeah. And you just sort of stopping to get a point, just but barely. I think it's a divided audience. Could be either.
Wow.
Which is interesting.
Do you think it's people are negative because they're worried about their jobs, but more than anything else? Because you can't not be excited about the tech.
Correct. No, I was surprised at that near 50% on C. But I think you're right, Phil, and I think we're up onto something. I think it's generally the reason the C is big, and the audience can say some people can volunteer. I think it's a bit of a worry about the job. Not just whether I'll have the job, but what that job would look like. Will I be able to get that feel, what it's nice to say, can I really get it there? That could be the concern.
It's fine. And I'll say something a little controversial, but people perform better when there's a bit of fear. You know, fear, it motivates you. It's your focus.
Painful, but that was different. But it was so like,
Exactly.
Phil is a believer in sticking not character. All right, let's go. Badly, man. I hate to say. Okay, what's the biggest impact of AI in IT services in India? It's increased productivity. It's like hiring bots who don't need coffee breaks. Streamlined operations because even robots hate paperwork. Innovation, dilution of traditional roles, goodbye spreadsheets, or cross-functional collaboration. AI plays well with others. What's the biggest impact of AI? And this one is, we're not differentiating GCCs versus, and I'm just saying across all kinds of services. What's the, if the answer was boom, which I was at least hoping that, what's the biggest impact? And I know we can easily say all of the above, but I was trying to create some divergence.
We'll go with C. So I think with everything's I think it's amazing, right? So the way how you code and the way how you orchestrate and the way you innovate, right? I think everything gets boosted. So that's where I think we go for C. Of course, there are a couple of other closure options, but I think we chose C.
Yeah. Please answer this synonymous, right? So answer this anonymously. I'd like to see if it's really productivity or innovation, because there's a good crowd here and a lot of people in this room.
Our answer is A. Right.
So then, actually, somebody will win a point.
Our answer is A, and the reason is that it's increased productivity with tools like Parsons and all that, right?
Or
Yeah. So that's what we think. I mean, C, D, clearly there'll be some impact of that. But A is where we are. And the only addition that we wanted to make is that, see, currently all the AI is working on existing processes. It's still not streamlined. The process is similar. So the streamline doesn't come with AI. So that's the reason why we thought A would be the after one for this.
Okay. So is it productivity or is it innovation? What do we think?
On either.
Either.
Or either. Yeah.
Go for it.
Go for it. Let's see.
Yeah.
So where someone just passed it.
Stay.
There you go. So productivity wins.
Wow.
But innovation is second.
Then you want to do this. That's a keyboard is.
I've lost track, man. What was the score?
Let's see, 1.5, 1.
And do it. Simple, just 7 points over here. See there.
2.5 and 2.
Oh, this is the GCC team is now in front.
GCC team is in front. Okay, hi.
Honor at 5-2.
I haven't noticed this.
All right, let's go. And now we have to ask the talent question. What's the most critical skill required? AI expertise, data, problem solving. We've talked a lot about that today. Agile project management. Do we still care about that? But okay. Or the cross-functional collaboration, IT and business coming together.
But I also see that with it's a bit means it depends on people because sit out things to see this because
to also comment on my well thought through options, it's just it's just brilliant options. Look at that.
especially when you do it at the end of the day. It's
That GPT to stress you, ChatGPT.
Gemini.
Hey, anybody ready?
At least you took the M dashes out.
No,
Our turn, right? We have time this time, yeah? So our answer is C, okay? Creative problem solving, thinking outside the spreadsheet or anything else, SFEs and whatnot. And we'll also tell you, since we're also doing a little bit of color around it, we also thought about whether it's A, And the reason we went for C is that AI expertise, the way we read it is, it's more like deeper AI engineering expertise. Obviously, if we have it, better, but that's not the critical skill for the future of everybody. But creative problem solving is an absolutely critical skill, because without that, you don't even know where to put the AI.
Unfortunately, nobody's getting a point just now. So we thought about C&E. It was for us, it was one of the two, but we do believe it's, if you don't get the problem solving piece right, the design thinking piece right, you're not going to move forward. If the collaboration's great. So for us, C was also the thanks. We do believe that it's going to move to cross collaboration, which is going to be super critical for the accuracy to be able to implement it. But C is where we were. And also C.
That's also what do we think? Doesn't really matter on this one, but
One thing which is agile learning mindset is also very, very critical. But of course, we didn't see that option. But of course, it could be fine. It's a
sure. Audience, yeah, correct. Really, this one was a easy answer. It seems.
So I think,
All right. And so, Phil, last question for you. Let's crown the champion.
Crowning the champion. It's who's and we're going to debate stereotypes and threats and those sorts of things. Who will win the future of global services? Here we go. Very simple. GCCs, third-party providers, or is it a hybrid model? So you're going to sit on the fence, or you're going to dive into one or the other?
for us, pretty easy. C. We don't believe either one of the models are going to go away. For right reasons, as we've talked through the day-to-day. While the lens was very GCC, but I think the expertise, the execution, the scale that is required to get the value in is not going to happen in any one organization. So for us, we think it's both bottoms are going to thrive through this journey.
It's C for us as well, because we believe that the hybrid model is the future. And the world is also moved already in this direction. So I think we are already partners in what we do. So I think it's you.
In that way, I like to
Yeah. So
I would argue that the future is difficult to predict because of the speed of change, the amount of AI bombs that are getting thrown out there as well. Like you can get some GCCs will get dissolved into software, others will thrive. So it just depends if you run it like a cost center or an innovation center, in my opinion. And the innovation centers will thrive in a hybrid model. The cost centers will get
bested.
They'll get killed with the cost center, with the same providers who have the same mindset.
And yeah, the point is whether you're going to run it as a center of employment or center of excellence.
All right, let's see the answers. The big boys. Oh, this one was I'm just curious to know the 11% of the biased audience in the this is 0%. Third party is basically gone.
More, you were supposed to say third party.
What's the bottom?
so we have HCLTech. So that's why we shown that.
Look now. So Phil, who wins?
I believe it's the GCC guys, right?
Yeah.
You're on half a point.
Very none. But the answer is very clear. I think the answer is both. But yeah, the bragging rights are with you guys.
Totally.
So the drinks are on them.
Why does he let them win?
Thank you, but thank you, gentlemen, for being very good sport and playing with us. So, thank you.
Thank you.